speak up. Support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears, tell them to stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your life, they feel. Don't let them take your energy, what I say. Don't let them take control your life, they feel. I am you, control your life, they feel.
What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Today's September 1st. It is the first day of the fall month. Not quite fall, but very much well into autumn, depending on where you are in the country. I'm Eve, and tonight, does Black America need a white savior? I was really hoping we could have a conversation, and I brought along a friend. This is my sister Iris. She hails out of the sunny state of California, right? And she witnessed a debauchery. She witnessed some treason in real time, and I thought it important to talk with her live to give you guys some insight, and myself. This isn't just for y'all. This is actually, most of my shows are for me. You know, I am just Eve, and I take pride in knowing that I don't know it all, but you guys teach me a lot all the time. So, you know, these conversations are mutually beneficial. At least I hope they are. And tonight, a fly on the wall. No, she's not a fly. She's like a butterfly or a beautiful, I don't even know. Let's not make you an insect at any whatever. No, she. And then sometimes they like to say that you have to be the spook who sat by the door, like you have to put on some coon hat and coon shoes and tick tap tap tap. You don't have to do that either to partake in some of these conversations. You really just kind of have to know about it, and then you have to want to do something. So, hi Iris, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It is really, really great to be here. And what I witnessed in this California Assembly sessions from Wednesday through Saturday was absolutely disgusting. Very eye-opening. I'm happy to be here to get the information out.
All right, so to the family, to the audience, if you are unfamiliar with what we are talking about, California has kind of definitely been making some headway with regards to our reparative justice. Not that Illinois never did anything, right? But $25,000 in a housing type of situation that isn't money that you can use to do what you want because it's your money. Reparations cannot be the government says you have to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2. Fuck all that. No, when you get paid from your job, your boss doesn't say, and you gotta go pay your bills. I mean, your boss probably just wants to make sure that you have gas in your car to get back to work. I mean, if we're being honest, like maybe they want you to be healthy so they don't have to hire somebody else. But I don't know that people really give a damn about what you're spending your money on, except for the government keeps telling us that, no, we owe, but you have to do it like this, and you better go to school, and you better buy a house and not be able to afford it in the place that you live, or pay it off, but then the property taxes go through the roof. And Iris, my hat's off to you when I learned that you lived in California. I think that my hat's off to all Black Americans who still live in some of these areas, because the way gentrification, inflation, and just the cost of everything over there being like a bajillion dollars. I how do you how it, are
Well,
you in one of those places where it's super congested and you have a lot of others around you, or you see something else?
I would say it's kind of like it's not super congested, so it's not like San Francisco or LA or even like the surrounding areas of LA. It would be more like an area like that is an hour outside of LA. So yeah, we have like Targets, we have a couple of malls, but it's not like you have a bunch of high rises where I live. I happen to live in the Bay Area, specifically in wine country. So that's in the North Bay. So there's like a lot of hills, a lot of parks, a lot of trees and birds and all kinds of other stuff. So it would be, but again, like I guess I think there's about 200,000 people that are in the town that I live in.
But really, what you're saying is that you could be out here living your best fucking life, not worried about anything because it's really pretty where you are and it's not super congested. And, it's just life is good. I mean, maybe things cost more, right? But that's life. Things are going to cost more, right? But no, you said that even around all of this beautifulness that I'm living in and comfort, things aren't right. And I think more attention needs to be given to people who are not struggling fighting this fight. Because yeah, it makes sense. You don't have any fucking money. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul and living check to check and all this stuff. And no, but Black America, our debt isn't how we feel. It is what it is. Whether you're rich or poor, if you share my lineage, Iris's lineage, you're owed a fucking check from this government, and it needs to come today. I mean, it's already late. I don't understand why things have to be so complicated, but no, in real time, all the way over here on the other side of America, I was watching this go down. Let me make sure that I'm not muted. Cool. All right, here we go.
Yeah, no reparation, no vote. If you don't give us no reparation, you ain't getting no vote. Y'all gave the legal.
All right, so audience, Iris, I don't know if you could understand any of the audio there, but I think that's the point sometimes. It is to show people that it's so much confusion. Who knows what the fuck is going on? But you were there. What was going on? Why are people so angry at that state legislative building?
Because, okay, so at that point, the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus, and I'm sorry, I had to take a breath because my palms got sweaty, and it was just like the rage that I feel from being disenfranchised by melanated Democrats. I don't even think I have the language to properly express. So I had to take a breath there because at that point this took place on Saturday, which was yesterday. The bills were supposed to take place for a vote. They were scheduled on the session. I have them. Excuse me. Let me pull this up right now. I have the assembly file. They were supposed to be on schedule on Wednesday, August 28th. We knew we had the votes. So we all, a few of us, I'll say there was probably about 20 people there, maybe a little bit less than 20 people that were there to hear the legislation, get voted on. We didn't know exactly how anyone was going to vote because, again, the vote was going to come to the floor and anybody can end up voting however they do. But when they were speaking to the polls and they spoke, you called to other people or, talk to the other legislators, we had the votes to get that passed. The Freedmen Affairs Agency, which was SB 1403, and the fund for the agency, which is 1331. Now, and this fund is to make sure that it's I believe, a line item in the California state budget, so we can get the ball rolling on getting services specifically to the Black citizens who descend from emancipated Americans, those of us who are classified as freedmen.
Wow. And then
and I know that I'm taking my time with this because I want y'all to understand just why people were livid come Saturday. So on Wednesday, 1050 went through. So first of all, it has like a certain order that things happen. So we're there waiting. We got there, as soon as the doors opened, some of us even earlier got there, when they started. They go to recess. We're like, okay, great. It's time. It's time. 1050 went through. In between the other two, because that was like Bradford's packages, which were 1050, which was for the compensation for land taken due to eminent domain. So that was 1050, which is a huge victory. But so what had happened was, while 1050 was coming through, because they were like, oh, they're looking for the person to come back for recess because, they're like, oh yeah, she's getting some lipstick. She's ready. So while 1050 went through, a call went through where Newsom asked the Congressional Black Caucus to hold the vote or hold the bill. So they wouldn't even bring it for a vote. So then it was like, we were waiting around all day, and we went and we spoke to Bradford's aides. We got a chance to speak to a few other people to figure out, hey, what's going on? So we were told that they didn't want to do that. Newsom last minute tried to gut the bills, make them a study on genealogy, and then take the agency out of the state of California and instead put it in the CSU system. That's the Cal State University system, which isn't even the top tier college system of California, which shows you just how goddamn disrespectful that was. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. Which just shows you how disrespectful that was. Bradford stood 10 toes down and said, absolutely not. He did not agree to these bills. So, as of Wednesday, the caucus was telling us that they were trying to do what they needed to do to bring it to the floor for a vote because Newsom had told them not to. That was Wednesday. Thursday, that is when I believe that was the day that, we waited again. We were seeing what they were doing. And they didn't bring it to a vote again. And that's when we started getting like the calls to action going and whatnot, because clearly they weren't doing right by us. They didn't bring it to a vote again on Thursday. There were people who were there and they saw all the other stuff that was getting passed. Friday comes, and now people are pointing the fingers at other people. The Congressional Black Caucus is blaming Bradford. Nobody's looking at Newsom, but Newsom's the one who made the call. We're calling these people talking about, hey, what's going on? I called Newsom's office twice. I spoke to an aide once. He says, oh no, Newsom is ready to sign SB 1331 and 1403. And I said, really? Because I was told that he was not going to sign it that he wanted the Black Caucus to hold these votes or hold this bill, not bring a vote on it. And I want you to tell him to call them to tell them to have the vote. Now, that was what I said to him. I was also making a whole bunch of calls, making emails. And there were a lot of people, not just in California, but around the country that were doing the same. Shout out to the reparationists all over the place.
For sure.
All right. So that was as of Friday where we were, which is making the phone calls and sounding the alarm.
But Iris, let's pause here for a moment, because to the audience, what I've been sharing, these are the proposed amendments that were received on the 26th. Now, Iris says that they started showing up on the 28th, which would have been Wednesday. So you get 2 days to look at all of these edits, and then 2 days to decide if this is where it's going to go. I don't know how long Newsom's office had this to put these proposed amendments together, and maybe they only had 2 days to, who knows, but 2 days to check this out. But you said his office said that he was ready to sign 1403. This is 1403. I have it on your screen. And the proposed amendment basically takes out all of the Freedmen Affairs stuff, all of the stuff about genealogy, and then inserts the study allocating $6 million to California State University. So whereas the bill didn't have any money dollar amount associated with it, he came back and said, no, I'm going to put a dollar amount on it. We're going to pay some people $6 million to take a gander at what we already know to be true, and that'll pacify them, because HR 40 is 40 years old next year. We can just do the same old and it's gonna be all right. But then no, y'all turned it into a nightmare for them, because there were calls, like you said, there were emails. I saw calls to action on different platforms, posters and phone trees, and people were really upset. Like you said, I mean, your emotions being high, and this is just Friday. We're not even at Saturday, what I showed to the audience yet, but just knowing the behind the scenes now, oh, he's supposed to have said, yeah, okay, we'll take these changes to some bills that nobody wanted me to introduce anyway. But he didn't do that. And that's good. If these changes had been made, that might not be where California wants to be, stuck in a hamster wheel of studying and throwing resources to, what is the saying, Iris? You don't chase bad money. You don't, what's the saying? You don't chase bad money. I don't know what the saying is, you guys. It's about throwing money after a bad investment. You don't want to do that. You don't want to keep doing that. But I feel like Black America keeps doing it when we, let's see, put them niggas back on the screen. Oh, them. They need to be canceled. And I don't mean that you need to go vote for somebody else. No, I am not a component. I am not a campaigner, cape wearer, or champion of voting for the lesser of two evils. No. But before we get there, let's keep going. Iris, you said that he was ready to sign 1403, as we see on the screen with all the scratching and adding, but nothing's happened. So it's like a storm is brewing, right? Because Saturday's the last day. And why was Saturday the last day?
So it's the last day that the assembly meets for the year, and after this assembly session, all of the bills that pass make it over to the governor's desk on the 30th. And so basically, if your bill does not get passed by this time, then you're going to have to basically start the process all over for like the next year. So keep in mind that those, as you said, those proposed edits came through a couple days, very, very shortly before the assembly session on Wednesday. Note that this bill has been in the works, well, actually, technically for years, but it had been through, or the legislation had been drafted for actually quite some time. It has passed multiple assembly committees, out of every assembly committee, with bipartisan support. Sometimes, I think in the last committee, there were no Republicans that voted for it, but it doesn't need to, because there are, you know, the Democrats have a super majority. So they claim that they're the party of justice. So, you know, it was passing with flying colors, because again, it is actually, you know, pretty good legislation. And Black Americans are the only people group in California who do not currently have a state agency. So technically right now, the state is violating our equal protection clause, because there are other people groups that it provides something for that we don't have. And then you look in the disparities and whatnot, and you see that universal policies and all of that, with when they're allocating resources for POC, opportunity zones, people of color, vulnerable youth, et cetera, the people who receive the least of the resources are Black American. And with the state agency, we can ensure that we are getting, you know, we have adequate representation. So this is good policy. This is not like bad policy. But so that's again to add to the context. So back to Friday. And I'm sorry I'm taking this, but you guys have to understand why I was almost teary-eyed when I saw that video of them meeting with that woman on Saturday. So now on Friday, we're getting word that they're still not bringing they're still reluctant to bring the bill to the floor. They're still not doing it, even though we know that we have the votes in the assembly to pass the bill and to get it out. So now what's happening is I believe, you know, people with bigger platforms are getting word of what's going on. So behind the scenes, they're like, okay, let's get bus loads of people together. So there were a couple of buses that went from LA, Leimert Park, up to Sacramento. They're like, if you're in the Bay Area, get out there, like everybody, all hands on deck. People show up because they are playing with us. So that's what's going on, because we're like, hey, you guys, you know, nothing's being done. Chris is over there in the Capitol talking to his contacts, trying, hey guys, come on, trying to incentivize, let's do this. What are you doing? Like, come on, let's go talking to people. Just trying to figure out what we can do, just getting the word out there, right? So there was a response to, I believe it was Killer Mike's tweet. Did you see that response from, what was her name? Not Wilson. Maybe it was Wilson. Oh, I can't. Oh no, it was McKenna from McKenna. She responded to Killer Mike's tweet, well, because Killer Mike had reposted that call to action, and she said basically that, you know, that the caucuses, they're not focused on more than just a few like reparations bills a year, something like that. It was very considering we all were there in the Capitol, and we're like actively asking them, contacting them. I mean, I think there were like at least 10,000, maybe I heard 80,000, but I can't verify that. A lot of email messages, a lot of phone calls sent to these people like, hey, bring it to the floor. We're not even asking them to pass it at this point. Bring them to the floor so we can get a vote, right? So that is what the demand was. When she put that response, that set off that was the thing that poked the bear, and then we knew that we had to get people out there. And so that's what our became our objective, to get people in the Capitol so that we can see, try to see, let them see how important this was to us, for them to pass, or not even just to even just have a vote so we can have our due process. So that's what led us up to Saturday. They had still not passed, or not even put our bills up to the floor for a vote, even though they were endorsers and co-sponsors of the bill. So there's that part. Newsom called them, tried to gut the bill, or Newsom tried to gut the bill. Bradford said no. And Newsom then used his power to call the Black Caucus and tell them to hold the bill and not even bring it to the floor for a vote. Then we have people, in the Black Caucus basically talking to us via social media, saying some outlandish things, basically insinuating that, hey, we can do whatever we want and we can't focus on everything, but we would like to work for you. Even though the people are, that the way that she even got contacted with the celebrity is because the people are telling them to bring these bills to the floor so we can get a vote. So now that takes us up to Saturday.
And it's been this nail-biting thing to witness from all the way over here. I don't know how other people are feeling watching these things happen in real time, but I find that when legislation is speaking specifically to us, there's probably going to be some type of obstacle, and we've seen a lot of different obstacles coming at this just one opportunity. Like I already said, Illinois is kind of doing something. Virginia's kind of doing something. People want to get ahead of it by saying, we have a study, we are studying, we were already studying it. Stop asking us about it because there's a study. And then the studies take 4 years. That studies will produce results that say something like, yeah, we need to apologize, and then throw some programs at them, and then we can use some trick bag language and sprinkle some other people in it because that's how they've been able to do it up until now. Now we've been delineating. We've said, no, you cannot, you will not, stop it. It's like calling me out of my name at this point. If you say African American, you're not talking about me. You're talking about the nigga who owns the app that I'm streaming on the other side of this live, or Charlize Theron and her abusive parenting style, and in general self is, those is African Americans. And then y'all know some Africans in America too, god damn it. No, they are not us, we are not them, at least with regards to how these resources need to be given. Y'all got rolling out here trying to, everybody wants in now. At first they were saying, y'all niggas ain't never gonna get it. And now they're saying, actually, no, we didn't never say that. We actually said that you need to include us. No, that math ain't mathin'. And the math is going to continue to not math for people who can ask questions, people who will show up, people who will do things that need to be done. Because this is the inside of, oh, I didn't mean to do it like that. Let's do it. Yeah, all right. This is the inside of the California Assembly. I hope this audio is better. Or it's muted and I'm slow. Sorry. Hold on, guys. There it is. Rewind.
What's your point of order? Not during resolutions. We're not doing resolutions.
Rule 109, when a member desires to make a motion, the motion shall obtain recognition as provided in Rule 108. That's our point.
We're on file item 65. There are no longer motions and resolutions. Your point is not well taken, Mr. State. Your point is not well taken. Moving on, file item 65. Mr. Lowenfeld, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present SB 961 on behalf of Senator Wiener. Folks, we are in a traffic safety crisis. Over 4,000 Californians died.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys were able to. I'm sorry, I might have to go get some water. I don't know if you guys were able to pick up what little snippet I was able to get off of this little clip. There's a lot of clips, so many clips. And really the clip that I want to show you guys that I can't find right now is when they walked past everybody in the gallery, like with their heads down, trying to scurry away from the people who are asking these questions. Like, why aren't you, your name is on this bill. What the fuck is going on? Like, did you think that we were going to forget? Because no, we need to watch you carry the ball across the finish line because I don't trust you. Fuck you. And that's me. And I live in Virginia. So I feel like y'all remember on The Lion King and Timon was all like, let me at him. And Puma was like, you ain't about to do shit. That's really how I feel like I can't do anything over here. But you guys were right there and you couldn't do anything either. I mean, it's not like you can make them do what they I'm sorry, y'all. I'm angry about this shit. And I don't understand why y'all are not angry. And I'm saying so angry that you say, you're fired. Like, isn't that your favorite white person right now? And even if he's not, he's your favorite white person to hate right now. And y'all remember The Apprentice, like, or shit, you like Diddy. He was firing bitches left and right. Like, fire these bitches. And I don't mean replace them. I'm not talking about replace them. Fuck them. They're not speaking for us at all. And then the white guy who was in there, and we're going to get to his little status in a second. But the white guy, this guy, did you see how much shit they were giving him? It was almost like, yo, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be. Who are you? You're not supposed to be speaking for these niggas. Like, what? No. And some of y'all took that and ran with it. And now Mr. Bill Nye, this non-science guy, is your favorite white guy. And I just was asking myself, does Black America need a white savior? Like, is that really where we are? Because the way people were campaigning and carrying the torch, I want to have a conversation with the guy. But now that I know his status, what do I mean? I mean that he's the first Muslim elected to his position. And because of it, well, this is the symbolic shit that I'm talking about. People get elected to these positions. And then when it's time to do the job that they are actually here to do, is crickets. And if it's crickets from them, why isn't it crickets from you? Vote for the fucking couch. I'm more than asking, because at this point, the way that I think the Democrats were just filling in names and sending in ballots, I don't think that's how you're supposed to win an election. I think that's cheating. I don't know. But Iris, they were pushing that mail-in ballots, right? Like, it was a lot of mail it in, do it early, don't get stuck at the polls. So then when you see the news at the polls and there's nobody there, they're going to say, oh, it's because everybody mailed them in already. Don't you know? And then, oh, oops, Joe and Kamala win the election. How? White people were so angry they stormed the damn Capitol. Like, I just have to ask myself, do we need a white savior? Is that the exact, like, we had to watch them do it. Only one person died. And
look, I mean, like if let's say if we're using this assembly session to answer that question, and that's going to kind of really exemplify why it was so disgusting what happened. Because look at all those melanated faces, right?
Exactly.
Look at them.
Exactly.
Some of
And
them are of immigrant background. Some
let
of them
me,
are not. Our big opposition is Reggie Jones Sawyer. And I would love to discuss his connection to Narcan and Cobra if you would like me to go there.
we absolutely can go there. We can go wherever you want to go because this is your state. I talk a lot of shit, y'all, but I go to these things, and my state had a study. Like my state did what California's trying to do. They copy each other in the worst way, and because we have been politically unsavvy and ignorant and sleep and unwoke and don't give a damn and comfortable and struggling and all this shit, we're not there. But I'm sorry. We're not there, but we're in a really fucking weird time because Black America's always been struggling in general. And some of us are not. Some of us have time, and they send people to vampire and suck the time so that we're not able to go out and do things. And then these little enigmas happen, these little outliers like Iris and Melissa and Virginia, and just people they people that have the time to go say, hey, you said this last session, why aren't you bringing it up again? And then if you're not bringing it up again, why did you bring it up? They have a public question section for the most part. Most, I think, in our beautiful states, this democracy that everybody loves means that our representatives have to address the people that they are beholden to, the people who elected them. And no, I didn't elect any of the people that I ever saw at any of these meetings in my state. But none of the people that voted for them are asking them any questions. So I'm trying to help out because at the end of the day, I don't want the responsibility for having to answer for why the person I voted for shat on us in a big way, right? That's what people are not doing with Kamala and Joe Biden right now. And Russell, what are we to do? We need to cancel them. But then I keep seeing the response. Y'all keep saying, don't vote for them, but you're not giving us an alternate. It's like, Iris, you can hear me, right?
I absolutely can.
Okay, vote for yourself. What does that mean to you? If I say, Iris, vote for yourself, what does that mean?
To me, that means voting for your best interest. So that doesn't mean don't be involved. That doesn't mean don't, look at what's out there, but definitely, see where your money is and you make a choice as to where that shit goes. And do not choose anything that's going to be playing with your money. That's
Now,
what's for me.
let's make it even more simple because these people, I think, are remedial. And I think that's me saying it in a very nice way. I'm asking, if I say vote for yourself, does that mean that you take your black ass down to the poll and vote? You write in Iris because you voted for yourself? Or does it mean something else? Because they keep saying, you're not telling me who to vote for. I just did. But then were we having a disconnect? Because I don't think that you need to do that. But maybe, is that what they're saying, Iris? Is that why they're stuck on stupid? I mean, just what would you think? Because you're not saying that, but maybe you've seen these arguments I'm seeing on these apps.
Yeah, and the thing is that that's why when I have these discussions or I've learned to really start being like, hey, I am going to do this. I don't vote for evil, greater or lesser, Now, I don't tell other people what to do. So when somebody says, hey, I'm not voting, I'm not casting a ballot, fuck this shit, right? That doesn't mean don't be involved or whatever. That just means, hey, I am making a decision that I'm not being a player in this. So, like, when somebody says vote for yourself, I don't know why anybody would think that meant literally whatever. Although if you live in a write-in state, you can. I have wrote myself in for district attorney because I wasn't going to vote for my current district attorney. So yes, I did write in Iris Peoples because I don't know any other lawyers, but I wasn't going to vote for that other person. So, whatever. They won probably, but I didn't vote for him, fine, whatever. But I do think a lot of people get online and start spewing stuff, and they don't quite understand. And then they're having a conversation, answering questions that you didn't ask, responding to stuff that you didn't even say or imply. So yeah, it's a little bit of comprehension disconnect. That's the kindest way I can put it.
You guys, when I say vote for yourself, I don't mean go down there and write your name in, because to me, it just shows them that you still participate in their system. When I say vote for yourself, it's more like what Iris said originally. Like, I know I busted down her answer to just prove the point of how people will just take something very simple, like do for self, but then it's like bullshit. Well, how do I do for self? Do I put my right sock on first and then my left sock, or my left and then my right? Do I put my shoe? Like, whoa, pause. So if you want to say it with your chest, we got some merch out. It's $3 for like 15, 12 stickers. I voted for the couch. I mean, that's how I'm gonna vote for. Well, not this couch. This is more like a lazy love thing. The couch is over there. I'm staying my black ass at home, but I am staying informed. I do think that you have to be informed unless you've completely checked out, because I'm not going to act like there aren't people who do live outside of the matrix. They live on the lam, off the lam, by themselves. They're not relying on the government, but in times of war, maybe they would link up with people who look like them because that might be safer. You have to be safe. And so I'm not necessarily talking about those people. I'm talking about everybody else who participates. Iris is a mom, a wife. She's a whole family. I think all of us are representative of our family, of our Black American experience. And then when we go speak up, it's like, this is for my family, really, because the debt is for my family. And then you're shitting on my family. Like, I don't understand why more people are not angry about these people that I have on your screen that I'll have canceled. I went back and forth with giving Stephen Bradford like a maybe. I was gonna put like a little maybe emoji over him, but he didn't even bring the shit to the floor, and he could have, right? Or am I wrong? He couldn't bring it to the floor
because he's in the Senate, and this was an assembly session. He wrote the bills because when he was on the task force, it was that transformative for him. You cannot get access to the information that he had access to and be our people and not be impacted. He was very impacted, which is why he went on his own to get
and drafted those two bills.
Right. And one of the three passed. 1050 did pass, but it was because it got through before the call went in. As they were trying to stop, do some stalling. So that of course is back on what happened on Wednesday. But Bradford could not bring the bill to the floor, or the bills to the floor for a vote, Only assembly people could. Now,
Okay.
Reggie Jones Sawyer, he didn't even show up. He was also on the task force. He didn't show up on Wednesday or Thursday, which that's when I thought, well, hey, that's weird. If we're scheduled to pass this historic legislation on Wednesday, why isn't Reggie Jones Sawyer there when he was also on the task force? But keep in mind, he was on the race-based vote side of the task force. And he was saying how difficult it was to trace your genealogy. And then one of us brought his family tree to the task force meeting for public comment and was like, well, you say it's difficult, but we actually found your ancestors and traced you back to whatever, and showed the family tree just because we had access to Ancestry and a cousin of his had a public account. So somebody blew that up and brought it for public comment to be like, hey, you're, he was lying because I'm sure he knows the difference. But, when he said like, oh, it's too difficult to trace lineage. No, we found your information, sir. But he is connected to Cheryl Grills, even still, who was also on the lineage-based side. They're in an organization right now called ARRT in California. And Cheryl Grills is an officer in NARC and in Cobra. And NARC and in Cobra may sound familiar, as you know, Eve, because they are championing race-based repair here in the US. They have a whole bunch of splinter organizations that have been trying to go up and down all these different task forces, and they're basically the main opposition to lineage-based repair. And so it is my thought that his connection to that Cheryl Grills organization, he also got voted out. This is Reggie Jones Sawyer. He got voted out. So he is out of the assembly now. He went, his tenure is up, and then he tried to vote for run for city council, and he didn't get elected. So he's like out of there, and he was acting like a gosh darn fool at the floor or on the floor. So he was mocking us, like going type of a thing. And then when that Republican dude brought that or attempted to bring 1331, and then the Democrats silenced them, when he came up into the check, like, because they have offices and we're still there the whole time. We were there from 2 until 12:30 at night. And every time they opened that door, we were yelling, bring them to the floor, have our vote, give us don't violate our rights. And then it started Eve, I didn't even tell you. So there was a couple of other things going on. Number one, they ended up taking out the chairs from the gallery. So when we were there on Wednesday, the first day, we sat right so you can stare directly at the people down there. Directly. That. Now, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, no, I got it. Let me
That.
It's nigga. Okay.
The disrespect. Okay. And he was on the task force. And he's connected to race-based people, the Narcan and Cobra people. He is connected to ARRT. Sorry, Eve.
It's okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. Now, if somebody had bopped him in the head, they'd be going to jail. But that looks like taunting to me. This fathead was taunting them, was taunting y'all. Like, no.
And he is sour because, number one, he was on the race-based side. He was always very disrespectful in the task force hearings. He would be late all the time. And these are the different things that you see when you show up to stuff. So Eve, you are always telling people show up. get active where you are, because you don't have, when you start seeing stuff with your own eyes, and when you know that these people, they've been pointing my whole life, they've been pointing to Republican, and I'm not saying Republicans are like my savior at all, but these people on the Democrats have been pointing to Republicans. Republicans are going to ruin stuff for you. MAGA, they're racist. The Klan, they're, all the Klan are Republicans. And meanwhile, you know who violated my civil rights? Do you know who upheld the violation of the equal protection clauses? Do you know who stopped our people from having due process? It was melanated Democrats. And that's a fact in California. So I don't care about Kamala. I know she ain't Black, but even if she was, who gives a damn? Because I really do feel like this came from the tippy top, and they use these Black tools to thwart justice for Black Americans, and these people let them. And I have a problem with that. And now we have to ask a question. Does America need a white savior? Because the only person who had a goddamn ounce of anything was what was that one senator who actually tried to bring it up for a vote, and then he got physically intimidated by Isaac Bryan for doing it. They were mad at him for protecting the civil rights of the people who they signed up to represent, because they are in the California Legislative Black Caucus. We are Black Californians. They're supposed to represent us, but they're the very people who disenfranchised us. So who gives a good goddamn about the Klan? That's what I think. Who fucking cares about what you allowed yourself to disenfranchise Black people? And it was, and I wanted to be only tethers. I wanted to be, because that would have been a little bit easier to take, but it wasn't. Yes, they are all tethering to our harm to get resources and universal policies passed for themselves. It's a very, very grave miscarrying of justice. I want you guys to see how they voted, the things that they voted on at this assembly session, the bills that they themselves brought forward, and you will see how disgusting it is. I was there on Wednesday. I saw people vote aye on allowing undocumented workers to access unemployment. I saw that. I also saw undocumented people getting access to $150,000 to help them buy a freaking home. I saw all of that. I saw Native people getting some land and some recognition. Shout out to them for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have any problems with them getting their stuff. I saw Asian people getting some stuff. I saw LGBT getting some stuff. I saw labor getting some stuff. And these Black Caucus members and then the other Democrats didn't second the vote either, even though they had the votes to pass it. I'm mad. So like you said, cancel them all. Because what good are they if they're supposed to represent Black people and they're not going to do what the people want? There was a lot of people there. All these other groups got stuff passed for them. Guess who was the only people in that chamber on that session? It was us. We were the only ones showing up. The only ones. We were the only ones that were there. And they still, the Black people, the Black Democrats still said, you know what? We're going to listen to Gavin and we're not going to bring this to a vote. And one thing I did hear was that he was holding their bills hostage as it started to heat up. He was saying, okay, well, fine. If you guys do bring the bills to the floor for a vote, I'm going to veto all of your bills. So again, more benefits to other people off of Black harm. Meanwhile, we're not getting what we want. But I will take that with a grain of salt, because they were lying about a lot of stuff as well. They were saying information, they were putting out information that was directly contradicting with what we were seeing, but we knew that they were lying because we were there. So and this isn't the end. Yeah, this is the end this year, but we're going to fine tune our strategy. We're going to fine tune the legislation. We're going to get it back out there. We're going to keep going. We have a lot of systems in place, so it don't stop. So to me, I don't necessarily need a white savior, but I know that we can't just we can't just depend on Black or melanated people in our government. We can't. Obviously, the California Black Caucus said that they supported the bills as they were. They were championing the bills. They were using the bills to get some notoriety for themselves. Like, yeah, look at me, I'm for justice. You know what I'm saying? They were using it to try to get people to get active about the DNC and whatnot. And when push came to shove, it was them who denied us our and who violated our civil rights. And
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, this is what I've been sharing. I'm trying to keep up with her. She is on a fucking roll, and I'm happy that I have some insider information because I don't like to talk shit and not know my shit. Look, this is California's Black Caucus website. Exactly what she just said is true. They used what's the first thing? Oh, California Legislative Black Caucus introduces a reparations package. This is January 31st of this year. It also talks about LaFonza Butler and then transformative education equity. That's probably going to make me Earl, so let me not even keep going. But look, what I want to share with you is this right here. Look, I've been doing some research, and it looks like a lot of these numbers. What are you looking for? This right. Oh, it's up there. Sorry, y'all. I've been doing some research. The numbers haven't fucking changed since 1929. There's a whole law about it, and it's about like a House of Representative numbers. And what I'm saying all of this to say that when these caucuses got started, it was because niggas were saying we want. I'm gonna do something about my door eventually. Niggas are saying we want some representation. We want to know that you're taking us seriously. Yeah, we got voted. We are here and we fucking matter because you said that we couldn't get shit done from outside the room. So fine. The people voted for us. Now we're here. We're the first nigga here. And boom. Since 1967, this is when the Black Caucus got formed. And no, it's not just for these quote African Americans who didn't even get this nomenclature until later. No, this is supposed to be for Black people, melanated people, because it says it right here, and other citizens of color. But wait, there's more, because while 1967 is a time when there isn't a lot of other people representation, what happens a couple years later? This happens a couple years later. The Latino Caucus of California. This happened in 1974. So from 1967 to 1974, let's just say what we just read is accurate because this is how they are expressing it. This is their website. So, since 1967, Black people helped more people come over here, get seats in Congress and representation, and now they have their own caucus. Okay, so fine. They've got their own caucus. Iris, why the fuck are we still talking? Did you see? Do you see that they have their own caucus? So why does this still say addressing the concerns of African Americans and other citizens of color if we're not talking about the Mexicans or the Hispanics or the Latinos, Latinx, whoever you talking about? Kamala's people? Is that who you're talking about? Because I think they got a caucus. I think there's an Indian caucus. I think there's a Native American caucus. I think all these groups have fucking caucuses. But we still have to talk about their shit. We can't be specific. The website can't just be here. Press release. California Legislative Black Caucus introduces reparations legislative package and goes into detail about how they're going to get it done. But no, we gotta congratulate LaFonza Butler, who I don't know who that is, so I'm not gonna click on it right now. And this shit right here, this transform. It just sounds like some shit, y'all. I'm not clicking on it right now because I have to.
Yeah, LaFonza Butler, I believe she took over Dianne Feinstein's with the Senate, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
let's click on it.
So she is I don't know what her genealogy is, or her lineage is, but she is melanated.
Oh, she's melanated. So is she on the screen already? Is LaFonza
No,
Butler up there?
that's federally. That's
Okay.
so that's
Right, you're safe for now.
she's a senator, but she's not a state senator. She's a senator, she's she's a representative of California in the federal government.
That's okay. And look, you guys, this is why I try not to be lying to y'all on these apps. Representative, Senate, Congress. Okay, there's a president. I know there's a mayor. But
you got a lot of civic knowledge. Don't play. I mean, we have our own expertise, and it's just like the only reason why I know is because I, on my own, see a lot of stuff that I find alarming. And even though I don't necessarily expect anything to come from it, like, justice is really important to me. And so because of that, I'm emailing these people a lot. I don't know their names. I have been in the room with some of them, because I show up to stuff, but it's not like I'm on a point where I'm like, hi, my name is Iris, and whatever. So that's the only reason why I knew her, is because I'm sitting and I have been basically sending Dianne Feinstein critical emails for a long time because of her stance on net neutrality. And I just believe that it was wrong and it was elitist. And, how are you going to say that you're for the people when, you basically are for gauging internet access based on how rich you are? I just feel like that's messed up. So that's the only reason why I know, but you are engaged. So, and you just know that there are different levels of government. And so, we have different representatives, and a lot of them do some really messed up stuff behind the scenes. And then they have their OSH moment when it comes to fruition. So just keep going up. Yeah.
For sure. In the chat earlier, we had TAKL Farms getting butthurt about the storm that never happened, right? Look, for all of you non-melanated people who want to burn it down. I'm not stopping you. I mean, really, truly, burn it down. Just don't come over here talking about, I don't know how to feed myself. Can you help me? Because I learned from my ancestors, goddammit, and they helped y'all niggas a little too much last time. Y'all were eating each other and shit. But that shit, I think that sounds like survival of the fittest at that point. Maybe the strongest of y'all will survive off of y'all, and then who knows what type of new, unseasoned human beings are going to be walking around on the planet, But for now, this conversation, while I did ask if we need a white savior, I really am just talking about y'all's lack of care. Black America cares too goddamn much. We care about shit that's not ours. We will put someone else's name on our back. Like, you work for someone, their name's on the wall, but you're the hardest worker at your job. But it's not your name on the wall. And maybe it's not your name yet. I like to speak these things into existence for the people who need it. Because if that's you, if that's where you want to be, then don't stop. Because clearly you are where you are because that's what you wanted. So keep going. But for everybody else, because if we're being honest, everybody doesn't want to be a boss. That's why people still actually wanted to be in slavery. They didn't like the fact that they had to go figure shit out. So to our unseasoned, I can't call y'all brethren, but to the unseasoned beings in the room, this conversation wasn't really for you, but you are in America. And I think that we do have a common enemy. And the enemy that we have is says shit like there's no such thing as an undocumented worker. I'm sorry, what the fuck did she say? Here she said, I will tell you. This is our common enemy if we have one. It looks and sounds a little like a pill popping drunk. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. No, Kamala, it's a fucking illegal. Like, what do you mean? If it, Iris, you can hear me, right?
I absolutely can.
What's an illegal? Is that a criminal? Is it not a criminal? Does illegal denote criminality? Or am I stuck on stupid in a way that I think my head's starting to hurt right here?
I have a question for you. Do 2 X's mean a woman or no?
Yeah, see that the way Ketanji didn't answer, I'm just trying to let you know. They got me not knowing. This bitch had children and couldn't tell anybody what a woman was, even if you don't know chromosomes, because everybody's not a scientist, right? You know, y'all fucking know. Look me in my fucking eyes right now. Y'all fucking know that a woman, I hate this, a woman can feed a baby and birth a baby. A man can make that happen. That's it. If you out here with extra shit, you extra. And if you out here and you don't want your shit, that's something else too. But you can't be acting like the wheel isn't already invented. Y'all want cars with square wheels? Do you know that you're not going nowhere fast with fucking square wheels or triangle wheels? Can you Can you imagine, Iris, these people trying to make transportation more smooth, but not teleporting, not instant anything, but to go backwards in our
It's
development?
regressive. That's actually it is very poignant. It is so regressive because a kid knows, right? That we go through stages. First, we're while we're developing, we learn how to speech patterns. We learn how to use our palates, and then we start forming the words, and we have understanding of language and what names are and whatever. So I think by the age of maybe 1, babies know that woof woof means dog and meow is kitty cat. And even if they can't quite say kitty cat, they know what the hell that shit is. Babies know what, the difference. So, I mean, yeah,
babies know the difference between a woman and a man, because let's just be honest, unless you're out here with man titties, babies are not going to try to suckle from you. But if you're a woman, you don't have to be that baby's mama if they are in feeding age like that, from the teat, they will suckle to try to get it, because that's their natural instinct to do with those pieces and parts. If you're a person who's using your pieces and parts. Now, I know there are some women who can't do what I'm talking about, and I hate when people try to sideways there. So don't sideways there. We're outliers. Outliers.
Because yes, we know we understand that there, anything can happen in the terms of in biology, in chemistry, yes, and everything. We understand that.
Absolutely.
But that's not about redefining words and meanings and stuff like that. And
I'm not talking about the boxer ones. Like that boxer that they said was born with all these chromosomes. No, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the woman whose womb attacked her and she had to get it taken out. And now she can't have a baby. Not that she couldn't have a baby or that she wasn't born with the ability. That's how y'all make me so angry I get goosebumps, because you knew that I was talking about her before the shit got crazy. And then, okay, maybe it got crazy when she was a kid, because bad stuff happens to children all the time. Outliers. We're talking about 98% of America. However you want to look at them, let's just look at the 98% of America that hasn't been born an outlier or experienced a really outlier type of situation. Now we're into free speech, free choice. We can do because we're not forced. Nobody made me do it. You know, this is how I feel, what I love. All right, now that we're here, you still know what a fucking woman is. You still know what a fucking man is. Because, I mean, do you remember back in the day, Iris, on TV, people could joke like they had the man boobs, and it was a joke to have the dad who was going to breastfeed because it was a joke, not like they were supposed to be gearing us up for right now, because that is what happened. We got so comfortable with these jokes that they said, oh, the joke's on you, niggas. Because, yeah, we're about to, these men, not men things are going to be nursing. So now you can't be a mom that nurses. You have to be a nursing person.
And meanwhile, Black women specifically, because they're going to say, you know, Black birth givers, I think they try to, instead
no, birth givers. No.
Black women,
No.
Black mothers are more likely to dying at higher rates for postpartum than other women. So, for instance, in California, it speaks to how egregious what these people in the California Black Caucus just did. In California, Black women make up only 5% of the women who give birth in California. Yet we make up 20 to 30% of women who die a 1 year postpartum due to anti-Black bias in medicine. And this doesn't matter. This is impacting the full gamut, whether you're very, very poor to you being a rich Black woman, marital status, whatever. And that is just another ring in the prong, or if you will, for just how disgusting the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus was by not bringing that agency to a vote, because that's also one of the things within the agency is monitoring and auditing and editing auditing and keeping track of these health facilities and how they are impacting our health, or negatively or whatever. So it just goes to show you just how egregious it was by them, one, trying to gut those bills, and then two, not even bringing them up for a vote when we had the votes to get them passed.
A damn shame. To the room, to the audience, I think this is pretty cool that you guys are choosing to listen to me, to us tonight on this beautiful September 1st evening that we're having. I'm having some difficulties with my voice. So Iris, I don't know how long we have with you, but if you want to stick around for a little bit, I'm going to put a commercial up, and then I have a shout out that I really like to make. And then we can get back to this conversation, because it looks like people have some thoughts, and I definitely want to get to them. And I try not to have an echo chamber. So, you know, even if you're dissenting, disagreeing, that someone said they don't think we need a white savior. And I don't think we need a white savior either. But if we're going to be honest, there hasn't been a Black person in a position of power to actually give us anything. So maybe I'm just being funny with the words. Y'all just going to have to forgive me. I had the hardest time picking a thumbnail tonight. Do you remember that the coons voted, the slaves on the plantation coons with the red handbag and the I voted sticker? Do you remember that picture?
I think so. I love, if it's anime, I love raccoon memes. I get a kick out of them, and I love reusing them. So
I just there's so many different ways that I could have put this out there, but I think the serious approach is best, because look at you guys, $300 million. I'm gonna fix it. I'm sorry. $300 million for the LCFF accountability changes and equity multiplier. Ralph J. Bunchy Center at UCLA, $5 million. Restorative Justice Fund, $7 million. These are real dollars, you guys. This isn't just pennies. And it is pennies in California where you live at, but it's the start.
You see that Bunch Center, and I'm getting a little oh, there we go. At number 2, item 2. Bunch, a Bunch Sitter, if you remember, they got $1 million at the California Reparations Task Force from Cheryl Grills. Do you know what the Bunch Center did with that $1 million?
What did they do with that $1 million?
They made a subpar PowerPoint with typos. That's it. They weren't getting the word out about reparations. How do I know? Because I'm in the state. It was organizations getting the foot on the ground. Hey, get these people in. The reason why we were getting, very, very full reparation stuff is because we took the reins. We're like, okay, we're going to call people. We're going to sit around here and do these phone banking, get people, like, let them know when it's coming and when, wherever it's going. But the Bunch Center, Cheryl Gross was like, oh, I have relationships with them, gave them $1 million, and all they did was a PowerPoint presentation, just FYI. And that was, you can watch any of the task force. I don't remember which exact one, but it did come up during the hearings where Camila Moore was saying, hey, where is this money going? What is it going to? Can we get it? Can we get an audit? Can we get an audit? And basically all they got was a lackluster PowerPoint presentation. And I don't know about you. Actually, I do know about you because I know you're very tech savvy. You've made some PowerPoint presentations before. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you've made a more impressive PowerPoint presentation than what was presented at the task force.
I am so I have such thoughts about presentation now. You guys are gonna just have to forgive me. I was talking to Iris about this before we went live, and I am unlearning in real time that there has to be a certain sound or look for our fight as much as there needs to be sound. And look, there's some niggas over there making some sounds. And outside of that, I've been wrong, because people will tell you to your face, not to your face, but to your airwave face, that if you don't say the right words, rewind, you have to say the right fucking words. But what I mean by that is, if you curse, or if you sound hood, or if you sound country or slow, or you take a long time to get to the point, or whatever, that you shouldn't be speaking. And that's not what we need right now. What we need right now is this annoying, incessant, persistent, we have to do something about that, because I don't know how much longer these niggas is just gonna be. I mean, it's like a mosquito. Do y'all just let it circle your head when you hear it coming up on you? Because I be like a ninja in here. And also, I have gotten bit in the damn face, so don't be like me. And mosquitoes are definitely disrespectful out here. And fuck any of them if they're in here with me right now. They be hiding on the walls. I got issues, but my issues are directly related to this type of shit. Because while I could be in here living my best life, fending off mosquitoes, no, we have to talk about California. And why? Because people getting money to study shit can't even put out a damn typo-free presentation when you've got squiggle lines that happen under your shits. Come on, people. That's a poor use of funds. If anything, it is a smack in the face. California, I'm trying to tell y'all, cancel these niggas. Cancel them. Cancel them by not replacing them. Don't let there be a California Black Caucus. Let that shit die. When it's time to vote them all back in, don't let anybody go, because there's nobody there. And okay, I don't mean cancel them all, because maybe there's somebody out there in your Black caucus who is trying, like Bradford and the lady you just said, there are different levels of representation. So they're not the caucus, they are the caucus. Iris, you said Bradford couldn't bring the bill.
Right, because he's in the Senate.
Write the bill. Anybody can write a fucking bill. You could ask ChatGPT, write me a bill because I want to. It will write it for you. Typo free, goddammit. And then all you really have to do is plug in the information about where you are. Take it to your legislative body and ask them to talk about this shit. We didn't have to do that here in Virginia because they have a study. And actually, let's get to this commercial real quick so I can fix my voice. Iris, thank you for being here with me tonight. If you just sit back, relax, we'll be right back with them in un momento, por favor. That's good, right?
If you're not going to speak up for the ones who do, if you're not going to speak up for the ones who do, if you're not going to speak up for the ones who do, if you're not going to speak up for the ones who do, vampires they prey on your fears and stay away. Vampires they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck control your atmosphere. I am you, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck your energy. If you're distraction away.
What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB or find me on X at Justice4 Just Us. That's JUSTICE. The number 4, JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
And we're back. Okay, so this has been a very wonderful conversation, I think, so far. Thank you guys for your participation. And we're going to get back to the getting while it was good. I have a shout out. I have a very special shout out for you in the audience. This goes out to you. My number one.
You don't know what you did. Speak to me. Your body language speaks to me. I don't know what you did. Speak to me. Your body language speaks to me.
Got to do a body roll.
I'm sorry. The way that people can use her and joke her, and then we get told that
you said
mean. I just can't with y'all. So we're just gonna have to take a little a little refresher, a little reminder of why the fuck Eve is spending her last weekend before school starts back up, before she has to be teaching in a very real everyday capacity and not just on Sundays with my favorite class, right? Actually, no, I just lied because I get to teach my minis. So all of it is my favorite class, but god damn it, this is my last weekend. And I'm here with you guys talking about this shit because I don't see enough people talking about this shit. And yeah, maybe people are talking about it right now for clicks, but next weekend and next weekend and next weekend, it's not a lot of weekends before the damn election.
That's true.
I mean, they brought this woman out here with a person holding her hand, and it's not her husband. They're on some swinger shit. For real. And I don't know why you niggas is so comfortable with it. And obviously, we're not talking about Iris, you niggas, talking about other niggas. Look, this is the shit we have to put up with.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing.
No, first of all, answer the fucking question, Mr. Walls. You have a person out here speaking for you, like Akbar. You don't know what you need. He was speaking for him. All right, somebody's out here speaking for Walls, saying you misspoke.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My records.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting him. I just know what comes at the end of this. And if you guessed that he's not going to answer the fucking question, you were right. And I don't necessarily mean to spoil it for you. I just mean that this is what they told us that we're going to get unless people vote for Trump. Because I'm not voting for Trump either. Trump hasn't said I'm going to do something specifically for y'all. He's doing what the Democrats do. And he's not stupid for doing it. Because for, goddamn it, 50 plus years, Black people have said it's cool for you to shit on us. And then in 4 years, you can shit on us again. And then another 4 years, it might be them Republicans, responsible. So, we're not shitting on you. Also, we're not responsible for anything that happens right now. And also, we actually are responsible because it was our economy that provided the landslide that you are participating in right now. And okay, but right now, the election is in 2 months, October, November, 2 months and some days. Her first interview with the press is with her running mate. And not only is she known for word salad, but he's also known for word salad. Iris, do you know any of these people's policies? What they're offering to do for America? Just anything that you've heard, anything you've seen, anything.
I'll tell you what I've seen. I haven't checked her website in a couple days, but as of the last time I checked the website, she was
daily. Let's pull it up.
She introduced herself and lied and said she was Black American, which you're not Black American, Miss Ma'am. I mean,
no, wait. Where she introduces herself as Black American? Where?
Yeah, it's on Meet Kamala, and it should be one of the last in the last paragraph. It says she's Black American something or another. I have it screenshotted on my phone.
I understand. This is the trick bag. Kamala is very savvy. She has never actually claimed Black. She allows people to do it for her. And this website is no different. Kamala did not make this website the same way Trump did not make Project 2025. No, these are the people who work for them. These are the people who speak for them, just like, Akbar was telling you. You don't know what, y'all don't know that these people got other people speaking for them. And then they have these buffers in the way. These actual niggas saying she is Black. And now we're into the race conversation because race is irrelevant here. people's racial identifying markers are not part of this conversation with regards to the reparative debt that's owed. Because if you want to do it by race, people who chose to come here yesterday would be owed the same debt. And that math ain't mathing to me, y'all, at all. The same way if you went to someone else's country, you wouldn't be owed to the debt of the people of that country. Y'all act like you don't have home training, but I get it. Y'all are around people who don't have home training, and the shit just kind of seeps over onto you, but shame on you. Because you knew that you were supposed to take your shoes off before you went into, the dining room, the kitchen. You don't have them animals up in your kitchen, and you definitely ain't washing no fucking food in the goddamn bathtub. Shame on you for saying that you're not lying, because I believe you. I fucking believe you, Kamala. I believe that you thought that was something niggas would do. Because Iris, I don't think she actually washed greens in the tub. No. I think Kamala said, oh shit, I gotta act like I was popular, and okay, I didn't actually have anything that would, how do I account for this many bathtub? The bathtub, absolutely, the bathtub. Yeah, you can clean it out. You can clean it out. That's like people who clean their meat in the sink. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But I can tell you that your mama and them told you what happened in your house stayed in your fucking house. And you weren't out here telling the whole goddamn world that you was washing your damn meat, greens, or anything else in a way that you're not supposed to do that. Like, home training, is it missing, Iris? Where did it go?
Maybe she left it in Canada. Maybe that's how they wash their greens in Canada.
It's gotta be. I very much think and know from my own personal experience, not my own I've had sex with experience, but just in my family, y'all have talked to me. And, I'm your loving cousin. I'm not going to disparage you. I'm your sister. This is love. Y'all told me you had to tell niggas about a washcloth before it got publicized that they wasn't using washcloths. This is before Serena told you. Y'all said that shit to me like fucking 15 years ago. And I said, what? What do you? So are they using like loofahs? How do you use a loofah on your lady bits? Like, doesn't that hurt? Like, I don't understand. But I also saw a whole TikTok where this unspicy woman and unseasoned man, she took a video of, she put some money under the soap in the bathroom.
No.
And you didn't see this one? She put money under the soap in the bathroom, and she's all, he. I bet you it's going to take him a long time to find this, right? So then she's documenting the fact that her boyfriend doesn't wash his ass. And then she catches him in the bathroom and she's all, babe, did you shower today? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, with what? She's holding up dry tools. I guess she moves the soap with the money. Did you know that there was money under this soap? No. He goes, I did. And she's like, what'd you wash your ass with? And he's like, the water. And why on earth would you tell anybody that this is the person that you're banging or kissing or hugging or doing anything other than making some fucking money with? Because as long as it's not food and as long as you're not touching me, I'd put some gloves on. I'm clean. Maybe I will get your germs off me. Or maybe it's an internet business dealing. You can not wash your ass over there and we can make some money together. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I do know that I wouldn't be publicizing my partner's hygiene like that.
That's because she's nasty. She has to be nasty. She don't know. Because there's no way that you would post that type of an L. You know what I'm saying? Like, Miss Ma'am, you are saying that your lover hasn't quite mastered soap.
They were the little boy who went into the bathroom and ran the water Didn't do nothing. Looking. And y'all actually, y'all seen adults like this. We literally had a shortage of soap and toilet paper because people who don't normally use soap and toilet paper started using it. Not because there was an actual shortage, but what the fuck is going on? And we're being honest, and we're gonna have to be honest. I don't think they were using it. I think they were hoarding it. You know, doing the coupon mom, couponing, extreme couponing. I got 58,000 cases of toilet paper and 28,000 cases of Lysol and 15,000 cases of soap. And you still ain't bust a grape with regards to y'all's hygiene because
they still got dirty stuff on it.
I just don't
Bottom of the feet still dirty.
I just don't understand. But no, I think that it might be just home training related. And to Kamala's benefit, I haven't heard her say that she was Black as much as I've heard her accept it. And I do think, actually, maybe somebody tweeted me that she said she was Black. And then I said she was a liar. I don't know. Y'all are going to have to tweet me again if it's out there. But I don't think she's out here actually calling herself Black as much as she's just allowing the name and title. Just like somebody who says that they're not the leader. But if you're treating somebody like the leader and then they get like leader privilege, you know, it doesn't fucking matter what you call them at that point. They're getting leader privilege. It's like pretty girls. Pretty girls get pretty girl privilege. Doesn't mean that there aren't prettier girls or anything else as much as shit. The door got open for this bitch because the person liked what she looked like when she was walking by. Maybe she's going to smile at them and then they get an extra dose of pretty girl privilege. You don't got to pay shit but a damn smile to get people to do shit for you sometimes. Iris has experienced pretty girl privilege. I've seen your posts sometimes, and I just, it's the entitled thing for me about these other people who aren't pretty asking for pretty girl privilege. Kamala is more attractive than
we can say she has very symmetric features. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have an eyeball up her. She's attractive. She's an attractive woman.
No diddy, right? But I wanted to people like her because she's light bright with the silk press, right? And I think that's a damn wig, y'all. But on her website, she's running for the most powerful position in the country. And you don't know what the fuck she wants to do as much as she wants y'all to really believe that she is who they keep saying she is. But this is who she keeps showing us right here. That's who she shows us, and it's not benign. That look right there is not benign. That look goes back here, right here.
Record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war, did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct. But again, if it's not.
Now, you guys, I actually don't mind his explanation of why he misspoke, but the fact that he wouldn't just answer the question shows me that he's used to not answering questions. Even when he has an answer that makes sense, his default is don't fucking answer that question because I might say some shit that I'm not supposed to say. And again, really, the school's getting shot up. How can y'all not think that that's wartime? Now, no, his own war record, old white people just be saying shit, right? Joe told everybody he's ready to go to bed and stopped calling people by the right name a long time ago. But this is where we are in America. And since this is where we are, and they're saying that these are the people we have to deal with. I say that we should be able to ask questions and not be made fools of. That man came out there with his fat head and mocked you guys, waiting for hours for some resemblance of the shit making sense. How is your name on a bill that you won't bring up? Shit, you could bring it up. Do they have to vote? Do they have to vote for it if they bring it up, or do they just have to bring it up?
That's the only way to vote for it. So we weren't even asking for necessarily passage of the bill, even though we knew that we had the votes to get it passed. We were just saying, bring the bills to the floor. Let the people vote, let the representatives vote. And if it passes, it'll go to the governor's desk. If it does not pass, then we start over, but bring it to the floor for a vote. That's all we were demanding. And keep in mind, the author of the bill did work with grassroots organizations to draft it, which is why it was very, very specific. And they did that whole money thing, but 1403 was the agency. 1331 added the agency as a budget item to the state budget. So those were the two things. And it's like, that would have been most transformative. And he was the one that was actually working with the people. He was on the task force, but the other guy who was also on the task force, but who happened to be on the race-based side, on that race-based eligibility vote, he was the floor manager. So even if the whole caucus was like, no, because he was the floor manager, he could have brought it to the floor for a vote. But he didn't do it. Any of the Democrats. So now we're out of the Congressional Black Caucus. Any of the Democrats could have brought it to the floor for a vote that were at the assembly. They didn't do it because they didn't want to cross the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus, because, right, this bill is supposedly coming out of here. And then, so who did it? Or who tried to do it?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
That guy.
Bill doesn't, his birth name is not Bill. He's one of them, right? He actually has a little bit of spice in his unseasoned appearance. And like I said earlier, he was the first Muslim American voted in his district in California. Is he the first Muslim representative?
I don't think he's the first Muslim representative in California. I do believe he is the first Muslim elected in his district in California, but I could be wrong. I don't want to misspeak, but I believe that's what I heard, but I don't know much about him. I did not hear about him before yesterday, to be perfectly honest.
Me either. And they always like to sprinkle people in and then act like they are this white savior. All right, he is the first Muslim elected to California State Assembly. So, okay, that's just according to Wikipedia. I know that they like to be sprinkling in some bullshit sometimes, but you guys can Google search yourself. Mr. Bill Isaili, he is the child of immigrant parents from Lebanon who fled. Let me just show y'all that I'm not calling nobody fleas that don't call themselves goddamn fleas. His parents fled from Lebanon to escape the Civil War. No, I recall a Civil War from a couple hundred years ago, and we didn't flee. We actually had to help them niggas win. God damn it. And we're still fighting for the payment for not only helping them win, but maintaining the wealth, giving them the wealth, access to the wealth, not fighting them and not allowing them to suffer the fate of nature. Because I guess if we had never helped them out, then they wouldn't be here terrorizing us right now. But before we get too far ahead, Bilal, he is an immigrant of Lebanon, but he said enough was enough. But then he had to kind of make a statement. And his statement was like, look, let me just make this perfectly clear. I am not the person that y'all need to be talking to about reparations at all. These niggas over here have been talking to them niggas over there for a long time. And I think it's crazy that they won't bring this up for a vote. That's what this long 4-page letter says. I mean, you can go through and, gut it if you want to, but
Eve,
it's not anybody's savior as much as, go ahead.
And let me tell you, because when they put that statement out, they put a letter out midday yesterday when everybody was still there. We were pissed, okay? And so everybody could have left at that point, but we were trying to figure out, hey, what else can we do? There has to be something else we can do. We're trying to, like, is there somebody else in the Black Caucus that we have to speak to? Is there like somebody else, another Democrat, can we speak to anybody? And so we were still, there's a couple of people talking mess. I was in the people talking mess.
But he addresses that right there. I met with several members of the public there to support the bills. I found them to be sincere, honest, and deeply frustrated Americans. So people can say that I have not been supportive of the shit that they want to talk about, but understand that democracy means that we're all going to have a fucking conversation, and we might have to compromise. But no, we're going to have this conversation because look, the debt is owed. I keep turning my damn camera off. I'm glad he posted this because it solidifies the fact that we don't need him to speak for us. We need the people who said that they were speaking for us to actually do their goddamn job. And if not, canceled. Look, fucking canceled. There it is. Canceled.
Because being there, Eve, I'm telling you that at that time, they weren't talking to us anymore. They actually had said some insulting stuff because people were pissed. And like it was like bad. They were snickering as they're walking with their colleagues to the bathroom because we were right, like they come out the door. We were right there. It was ridiculous. And then for him to come, there was also somebody that spoke to us, another Republican. Her last name was Groves. I believe her name was Cheryl Groves. Sharon Groves. But I remember her last name was Groves. She actually was speaking to us and really like looking at us and receiving what we had to say. Like we were people. She didn't mock us or anything. And so, yeah, like, and when we were talking to them, like, hey, what's this all about? Now I'll say the guys were talking to them because a few of us were over here just, at that point I was shouting about MAGA and who cares about the Klan and who cares about the Republicans and who cares about MAGA when the CLBC allowed the DNC to use them to disenfranchise Black voters. Who cares? And I was yelling that for basically about an hour or two straight. Every time that door opened, I'm yelling because I'm pissed. So that's right. He heard us and he came and he talked to those, that were more informed. And he moved him enough. He never even said, he wasn't even for the bill. He was not for the bill. And he was honest. He's like, I'm not for reparations. But whatever, let's talk about it. Just give them the vote. They're there. And he could be incentivized to do the right thing. So there was a lot that was awakened because when we go through the avenues that they tell us to go through, and sorry, it's so dark. It's getting a little late, with the light from the window, it went, whatever. But so we went through the avenues that they told us to go through. Go through the Black Caucus, use the Democrats. The Democrats Republicans would never give you reparations. Only talk to these people. Don't go over here, only talk to them. And by doing that, these very people were the ones who disenfranchised us. And then you have, on the other side, when we actually talked to him, he was like, you know what, let's have a talk. But yeah, I think you guys should be able to get that, at least bring it to the floor so we can have like a discussion. And then Democrats stopped him. So it's going to help us to, one, fine tune what we need to do. It is going to help us to, have more leverage of who we can talk to. Because right now, and then in a space that Mr. Bill was in, he even says that, yeah, I don't agree with reparations, but I would rather like money be spent to Californians than all the hundreds of billions that they've been spending on undocumented people who are not even really supposed to be here. I would rather the money go to make California better and, to stay in California than to be spending how they were doing. Because you will see, Eve, I know you're going to do the research. Undocumented people got a lot of legislation, and they didn't even have anybody advocating for them in the Capitol. They was just getting bills left and right, because that's what they wanted to pass.
Absolutely. I mean, he says it in his letter. It is unconscionable that they've spent billions with a B. These studies, they've got millions with an M, and they've been giving billions with a B to people that Kamala and told everybody is not a criminal, but they are actively breaking the law. But shit, they kind of almost got me wanting to drive to the border, leave my shit, come back, flee over there real quick, walk back across the border and no speak of English. And, cause, I got, quite got nigga naps. You got
that good curl.
Are a little bit, shit. Like, no, I'm just playing. You gotta laugh sometimes, because if you don't, you will fucking cry. And then y'all will think that I'm out here being weak. And really, it's because I, with my 5 minis, man, dog, white picket fence, and shit that I have going on, am not quite ready to be outside by myself. You remember the little girl on Facebook? She's doing her nails and she did by herself. Not that shit. If people hadn't done a call to action for you guys, the 20 of y'all would have been by y'allselves, and it would have been a blip. And luckily, California is one of the states that everybody pays attention to because of how it can change the conversation. So my hat's off to you, Iris. I'm humbled that you took the time to come chat with me about the things that you saw. Before you left, there's a couple more things that I wanted to share, specifically this real quick clip of why they might not want her to talk by herself.
And as a woman, there's balance to be struck between being tough and being a bitch. Turn that off.
Y'all, this is fucking alcohol. What is she? That's vodka. That's some vodka. I don't know what the fuck she's drinking on.
It's a cocktail, a little mood enhancer with a little uppers, a little downers. Ooh.
Yeah, because this type of shit.
We have to stay woke. Yeah. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah. We have to stay.
The blonde lady was looking at her like,
bitch, what are you talking about? But look, if you think about it, do you remember the dude who was like, hide your kids, hide your wife? Because they raping everybody out here, but the damn Democrats is out here raping it. You're gonna have to stay woke, because if you don't, somebody might try to get you. I mean, get you, because you're not paying attention to your surroundings. And she thinks it's fucking funny. She thinks it's funny. It's people like her that are vindictive, Yeah, Anton Dotson. He tried to warn y'all niggas about them, you know, doing them things to people. He said, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they coming.
Out here, yeah.
And then, goddamn it, you got gangs taking over apartment complexes and police officers aren't doing anything. Because they come in. Another thing that I wanted to share. This was the day after my birthday this year. Like I said, Virginia's already done their study. Their study concluded this year, July 1st, 2024 was the last day of their session, or of the paycheck that they were getting to do these things and have these meetings. And the reason that we don't need a study is because the numbers have already been studied. What needs to happen is a start, because what will happen and what will continue to happen is they'll say, it's not enough. And we want to make sure that it's enough. We want to make sure we address all the problems, and we don't want to have to come back. No. Y'all do not get to make the solution at all. What you get to do is say, who are we writing the check out to? And is it Eve with a capital V? Or is it Iris with a capital I? That's it. And since they don't need that either.
Or do you want direct deposit? Come on.
Right. There you go. That's the only question you should be answering at this point. Do you want a check or do you want direct deposit? And all you niggas who need a check, I'm trying to tell you, shit's gonna get lost in the mail, because that tether that's delivering your mail don't want you to get reparations, goddammit. And it's these pauses that will have people telling us in real time it's not going to happen in our lifetime. Fuck y'all. It will happen. It'll happen this lifetime. It'll happen now if more y'all got more serious. Look, I don't want to show the whole thing. This was a 2-hour session. They record all of them because it's public record. So if you are a member of the public, then you can record what the fuck is going on. But this is just a snippet of what we dealt with. If you look at your screen, you'll see they had it playing in the background, a reminder that this commission to study slavery is only supposed to recommend methods to promote educational awareness and identify ways to address the systemic and historical amplification affecting, look at that typo right there, the quality of life of a significant population of African American families in the Commonwealth. So just like Iris said about NARC, you get all this fucking money, and then the information that you're bringing, typos. I didn't even know I was about to show y'all that typo, but that's just where the video stopped, and that's where we're going to start. So they're supposed to be recommending appropriate ways to educate the public regarding the commission's findings. Okay.
Yes. I didn't know you were going to do that today. Well, I think we should, and I think there were recommendations that came from each group. Are these all documented?
They're on the back page.
Okay,
They're on the back page.
so because I'm looking at voting, and I thought we did much more than that. Yeah.
There's a lot of
I only had one from voting.
you gotta be
There was a
patient with them.
long notes,
They
a
older.
long document of discussion, but there was only one recommendation in that notes document that was provided.
Okay.
I can resend it, but there's probably a full page of notes, and then it has one recommendation. in it.
Well, maybe was the intention was those notes.
I think a lot of them, we were thinking of
Yeah.
the recommendation.
Yeah, recommendation.
And y'all, if I'm being honest, all that shit that you hear right now that you don't hear because I just muted it's a bunch of shit. They're acting like they're working. Like, okay, we did a note. Okay, I didn't get the note. Okay, you're supposed to email me the note. Okay, I'll email you the okay. I just told y'all this damn commission ended July 1st. This was from May 15th. It was the day after my birthday. May 15th of this year. And they're talking about not getting notes, not getting notes. But we were there. We were there. Let's see if we can, I wanted to just kind of show you, the background of like kind of how they get to these decisions that get made. My bad. Y'all can't hear.
Dr. Sherry? Yes.
Hi, yes, talking about meetings and so forth, and following up on an earlier discussion for a public meeting on June 13th. I'm sorry to report that the VMHC is not available that day. We already have events booked. So our auditorium is not available that date.
Thank you. I'm waiting for some message from a couple other groups too, folks too. Also. We will hopefully I can get it in the next couple of weeks. It's secure. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. She's so nice.
There any
All right. Y'all heard her. I'm not being funny. You see her? Her right here. Can you see my mouse on the screen? I don't know. Her right here that it won't let me zoom in. She turned around. Let me just go back just a little bit.
Dr. Sherry?
Hi, yes,
Dr. Sherry is
talking
the
about
white lady
meetings
at
and
the
so
top.
forth, and following up on
And you
an
guys can look
earlier
up these people,
discussion
if you want. on the website.
for a public meeting on June 13th. I'm sorry to report that the VMHC is not available.
She's right here. The lady that we're talking about right now. I'm not going to name, just kidding. Her name is Mrs. Dolores. She is the House of Representatives delegate that presided over these meetings. But you see, she's very agreeable, right?
Available that day. We already have events booked.
Cool.
So our auditorium is not available that date.
Cool.
Thank you. I'm waiting for some message from a couple other groups too, folks too. Also. We will hopefully I can get it in the next couple of weeks. It's secure. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it being so diligent.
Now, the meeting is over. This is when public comment is allowed. They have it, for the most part, written into the minutes and agenda of every meeting. And after we started showing up consistently, they stopped writing it into the agenda. But it is a public meeting that you have to allow public commentary on if it is open to the public. So as long as we showed up, we were allowed to talk. So let's just watch her.
Dr. Ken, I know you have to leave. There any I'm gonna put the timer on you.
You gonna put the timer on me? Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put time.
Oh look, she leaving? Is this not important for her to stay? What's going on? Where's she going? I guess this is important.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
I really like that you had the recommendation up there to kind of bring it back to the focus, because this is just the first step, right? And I think that I think maybe there was a disconnect in what all was going on, because other states have reparations meetings and task force and, they're studying and such. So since this is just like the initial background information, today, my only recommendation is that actually, thank you for saying Black American, because that's something that we had been saying. You did that. You did that. You did that.
Just wanted to
No, for the record, no, you definitely did that. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to Africanize us in the language. And what I mean by that is when I heard the introduction of Black people to land 1619, we were here before that. And there's lots of documentation of that. And the Black American lineage is trifecta. It is the Indigenous Americans. It is the Africans that were brought over, whether they were servants or slaves or whatever, and Black Europeans who had been traveling across all of the different land masses. So I do want to make sure that that amalgamation of our experience is why we're even saying that we're Black anyway versus another lineage, another culture, country, or title. And then from there, always a recommendation that you could make to the Assembly on our behalf is direct cash payments to do the things that everybody else is doing. We're always going to be at at a standstill because resources make things move. Programs, education, all of that costs money. And I know that if our community was given the same sort of advantages or just the same sort of considerations, then, you know, the learning that you guys want the community and the state to have, it would actually be pretty easy from there. That's all I have. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, this was not an ego stroke for me as much as it's just an example of you might stumble over your goddamn words. Who cares? Can you get up there and say that niggas is owed for some shit that we weren't there to experience because you're dealing with the aftermath of that? I mean, can you say that in some form or fashion without putting it on the race of melanin? Because while all people of melanin descent have a story that is special, that should be highlighted, it's not my story. If it's not my story, and I'm not going to Haiti right now to live, and I'm not going to Jamaica right now to live. I'm not going to Ghana right now to live. As much as, you know, we might travel places, but we're not trying to impose our rights on the people who live there or from there. You know, we respect the opportunity that we've been given to travel. You know, we respect the people's homes of which we visit. And I think that every person that I've talked to that's traveled the world has the same type of experience. You know, it's a beautiful world. We should be able to experience it. People love niggas. I mean, they love niggas. You know, they might not have ever seen a nigga, depending on some of these places you go, and you get to be the special Negro. Some of y'all love that shit. Go to fucking Asia land somewhere where they've never seen, you know, a dark skinned person and be someone that they want to touch your hair and shit. Y'all want to be petted? Go do those things. But you know just as well as I know that you're not about to be able to vote in that country for anything. Vote. What? You're supposed to be here, spend your money, and take your ass back home. But we've got this thing where you get to come here and stay. I don't understand. And I didn't say a lot at this meeting because they are familiar with me. She already said she's going to put a clock on me. And I know we all hee hee ha ha. That's them's fighting words to me, because if this is the only chance we get, every time I've been saying, y'all need to talk about our reparative justice with money. Y'all are making a recommendation. That's great. You need to recommend that they cut the check. That's so simple to me, Iris. It's so simple that I've gotten migraines, confused about why they have to have it said many different ways. But an old dog learning new tricks, you're going to have to beat the bitch because she's not going to get it. And PETA, you can come for me if you want. My dog's not going to like you too much. Try to come through this door. But I'm one of 4 people in this state who've been consistently showing up to these meetings. So do we need a white savior? No. Do we just need niggas to just show up and say what they know to be true? I think so. Because if we don't, they're going to just throw money at studying something to pacify the very loud people in the audience, the very loud people in the room who say things like, it's never going to happen. Oh, wow, they're studying it. Look at how much money they're spending to study. Whoa. But shit, are they hiring niggas on the study? Because, I mean, that could be an argument, but they're not. Did you see the white people on the panel? Those are people who got paid to be there, you guys. Do you know how many times we made them people uncomfortable just by talking about being a Black American? So they're actually studying it, right? They've got the data, the paperwork, the numbers, and they're talking to us and to the room about what they're finding about redlining and rezoning and redistricting and segregation. And this is all after slavery shit, right? So they're talking about this. And I promise you, if we hadn't been there, African Americans and every other nigga in Virginia would be included in that damn study. Every, I'm not the only one who spoke. I'm gonna let the other play real quick because they only give us like 2 minutes.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm an Army guy, so I like to use my outside voice. I promise I'm not
Shout out to
yelling.
Barrett Runs
Dr.
on
Alexander,
Twitter.
I love every single time that you chime in. You provide great feedback, and I really appreciate it. I actually called Norfolk State.
And actually, we keep giving Dominique some shout outs. She took a lot of shit from from the panel, and she's just a worker, just compiling the information. That's all her job was, compiling the information. She didn't have a say on anything, but she made sure that when we told her, look, we're traveling hours to come to these meetings and you posting it the day before the meeting, how are we supposed to get there? That seems like you trying to keep us from coming because we told you that we drove hours to get to the last one. So, what's going on? And from there, she always emailed, look, there's an update on the website. Look. And I'm trying to tell y'all, she's not even she's not even in the groups doing any of the decision making. But she did make it a point to change that fucking verbiage. So if that June 13th meeting that they alluded to was an issue with finding a place that they ended up having a Zoom meeting for that we couldn't show up for, we showed up, but it wasn't like this, they could have changed the wording back because we weren't there to say anything about it. But from this last time that they had public comment, they had Black American in the verbiage of what they were going to be submitting to the Virginia Assembly. Oh, the California Assembly just met and they're trying to do some stupid shit like this. Okay, y'all can act like shits aren't connected and related, but they are. And if we don't have these conversations, it will just slide across the country as the okay thing to do. Benign neglect is real. And we're arguing with our parents and grandparents about its realness. And the entire definition means if I don't talk about you, you ain't gonna talk about you. And if you don't talk about you, I'm gonna do shit for you. That's benign neglect. But because it sounds like some hood shit, some nigga shit, some politics shit, you're not listening to me. But look at how they do us. The niggas in the room said, gonna have to put a time clock on you. And I don't be wordy for real. I take my notes real quick. I have like some key points to say. For the most part, they fixed everything else. So I don't really have much to say. Cut the check. But we have to speak up.
Norfolk State, illustrious, a few weeks ago, and you're proving me right. So thank you very much. Okay, so it's just a few things. Again, I agree with some of the sentiments that my sister Eve just went over. And as far as the language, I really like terms that that were used during slavery. African American is something that was added to the census. We were really categorized as that on the census in like 1870. But I really like terms like colored and Black American especially. And even Negro, because I think that like delineation needs to be a part of this language, even though we all agree that it should be lineage based, but I also think that it should be in the language too, because people can misinterpret things and stuff like that. I think that I heard people of color, and like I completely disagree with that type of terminology. We have to be very specific with who we're talking about here. And
you guys, we've been consistently saying this shit. Every time they meet, it's almost like, I hope these niggas don't show up, because if they show up, we have to document that they've said it again. They said it again. One meeting, we told them that niggas in Haiti and Jamaica are not Black American because they're Haitian American, they're Jamaican American. and they wrote notes. We saw them take notes with our own eyeballs, watch them go, oh shit, you're right, and then write it down. So if they can make that type of understanding, awareness public for us, I mean, we were the only people in the room who could have seen that type of shit, but it is recorded. All these sessions are recorded. So go through it. I have them, some of them posted on my page. You can check it out. This is not for clout. This is for information sharing. A reparations task force is going to pop up in your state because they're going to try to get ahead of the conversation. And it's going to be a bunch of fucking Mexicans and red dot curry niggas on the damn task force. And your ass is not going to get what's owed to you. And they're going to call it reparations. And then the rest of the fucking country is going to jump on that shit and say, yeah, that's reparations. And now we're fucked because your ass didn't care to show up to a meeting where you had to wait your turn to talk and then just talk. The first time might be super nerve-wracking for you. Okay, go back, because now they know who you are. One of them niggas gave me money straight up and down before Christmas because we have so many children and they've come to these meetings, and I think that they're like, this bitch keeps saying cut the check, cut the check, cut the check. She got these goddamn kids. Okay, here's some money. Is she gonna stop coming? No, god damn it, I didn't fucking stop coming. If anything, that puts some gas back in the car so we can get back home. And thank you for your contribution. But the same way Becky and Billy can't cut me a check and get me off of this, will anybody be able to just sprinkle some money in my direction and say stop talking about it? If Iris didn't get what's owed to her, if Tia in the chat, Russell in chat didn't get what's owed to them. Because like we started tonight, Iris lives in a very beautiful part of the country. I live on the beach. God damn it. I could be living my best life, not having these conversations, not giving a damn, because guess what? I can feed myself too. And I know how to hunt and I know how to shoot. So, I mean, we working on this water gathering situation right now. And I think if I get that, figure that shit out. Because tinfoil kufi, Iris, acid rain. I don't... Is rainwater safe because of acid rain? They told us the ozone's fucked up.
Or geoengineering, you know, chemtrails really are a real thing. I don't know if you guys have started seeing the grids that they spray into the sky. Well, they've been doing it over here, and it's like you can have like the most beautiful blue day, and they're doing. They actually revealed that it was real, that they started doing that to try to cool off the earth. But then there were people in Northern California. This is way north of where I am, that started noticing that there was a lot of like sudden oak syndrome. A lot of trees were dying, and so that is kind of what put them on this rabbit trail. I don't know if that's the right word, of looking for chemtrails. So yeah, acid rain is something. I think it's something. I might have the tinfoil kufi too, because they're able to affect weather based on what they're putting in the clouds, and
Right.
so why couldn't it?
Right. So yeah, that, you know, I'm just Eve, y'all. But shit, I can plant food and I can hunt food, and I'm a plant eater by choice. But
You
the
can preserve
omnivore's
food,
dilemma.
right?
Oh, yeah, no, that too. I'm just saying,
Yes, you do.
yeah,
Yes, you do.
for sure,
Mhm.
for sure. But we have the ability to choose. You know, we don't come from these shitholes where people are coming from places that have beautiful and abundant resources, but you can't touch it on some Garden of Eden type shit. That's not us in America. Everything that we have, we've scraped for, got through the mud, you know, and then from there, I'm so irritated by people saying that we need to let things happen, or that, okay, they have a task force. Now let the task force work. No, that's not what you do, because if that's what you do, then we wouldn't know about why the bills didn't get passed in California. In Virginia, you wouldn't know about the fact that in 2004, before I got to Virginia, because I came down here for school, got married, and got stuck. But in 2004, did the governor of Virginia at the time say, we need a museum to teach the public about the Black experience? And that in 2038, which is in like, what, 14 years, that's when it's supposed to be done. We are 20 years past when this man started this museum plan that costs millions of dollars. It's been mapped out, it's plotted, it is on track. Millions of dollars that could have gone directly to Black Virginians for the debt that's owed. Not that it would have covered everything, but it would have been a start. But no, but we're not there. I wasn't even here. But I can't say that it's not my responsibility if I choose to move inside of the parameters of my country. Y'all niggas flee to different countries and try to say shit. No. But I also, I'm not trying to move to California and tell y'all how to do some shit either. No. I mean, I guess you could try, but Black America doesn't use our resources like that. We stimulate the economy. That's how we use our resources. We don't do it to have super PACs and have people speaking up for us. The Prince of Memphis might be onto something. Black Americans need a white savior, the only person that could potentially set things correct. And it has to be a white American savior. You might be on to something. The original colonizer with the original niggas. A match made in heaven. And not like how you got the KKK and the Black Pride dude holding hands. Y'all are stupid for sharing that fucking picture.
It's dumb.
But I kind of get it. The Rainbow Coalition had niggas thinking that you could actively hate somebody, not want them to exist, but still be on the same side. No, what we can do is have interests that are aligned and then separate, aligned interests, close the damn borders. They will not replace us. We were here first. And if you got a lineage that ties to the founding rapists of this country, then yeah, you got here before Carlos, who actually probably was here in some form or fashion, just a little bit more south, but okay, fine. But inside of that, we have an original enemy, and the enemy of the enemy is not my friend, but we can use them. And we thought we could use them, but they came over and said, we want to be with them. And they said, we don't like y'all. Get your fucking curry, get your fucking jalapeno. And the hot sauce we use around here is Duke's. The ketchup we use around here is Duke's. And if it ain't fucking mayonnaise, I don't want it. If you're not putting raisins in your potato salad, I don't want it. Now, Prince of Memphis, you might be onto something, because as it stands, there has not been a Black person in the White House that wasn't fucking someone else. Shout out to Michelle Obama. And, I do think that with our original enemy, we know how to deal with that demon. We've done it before. We can do it again. But it's up to y'all. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to find out what's going on where you are. Solidify your square, people. Because if you don't, these people are going to take it over. Shout out to Colorado, right? Colorado's where the Venezuelans are acting a goddamn fool.
Yeah, Aurora.
The police are acting a goddamn fool. Mm-hmm. And the residents are acting. I swear to God, if I fucking woke up in my home and someone was in here that wasn't supposed to be here, they would not be here anymore.
Girl, they over there accepting rent on behalf of the landlord.
Yeah, I just don't understand. If you live in a place that you can just carry guns, or if you don't, but they just carrying guns, where's your gun at? Or you was one of them buyback niggas. See? You do it to yourself every single time. Every single time. Tonight, y'all know I don't normally go live on Sundays, but this mockery of democracy that we saw in California just reminded me that I hadn't seen an update from Virginia at all. And they were supposed to submit their recommendations to the assembly because they're done. So the same way that California's done now, Virginia's been done since July. And I haven't seen anything. And I'm curious because there might not be anything. It might have been 3 years, 4 years of nothing. 4 years of showing up, telling them what they could recommend, for it to do what California did, get put in the inactive file, to have to start all over again. But if that's where we are, then that's where we'll be, and we will be right back there showing up and letting them know about who we are and why we're owed. Because it's not complicated, but if you don't show up, nobody's going to speak up for you. Bilal was not going to speak up for y'all if you weren't there. He could have known about it. It's fucked up that y'all done worked so hard on that bill and you're not even gonna bring it up. And that have been a conversation in passing at the water pool, at the water cooler, at the water cooler, right?
Water cooler,
You know, just shooting the shit at the refrigerator in the cafeteria. Man, y'all worked so hard on that bill and you didn't even what do you do? But no, it didn't become a footnote because y'all showed up. You got to be outside. At least if you want change, you got to change. And if you don't want change, shut the fuck up. Iris, do you have any final thoughts for my audience or for me, or anything you want to get off your chest before I close these airwaves and turn it down?
I thank you first off for having me on, and for for just being on top of things enough and being like, hey, let's talk about this, because I want to hear what you saw, what you experienced when you were there. So thank you for giving me the space to get this off. Again, I was crying in the Capitol when that letter went out. I was crying. And there were other activists who told me I was trying to keep it together. And they said, it's okay. We understand. This is terrible. What they did to us was messed up. And the thing that I want to everybody to take with them, that just like Eve says, vote for yourself. Because what I've been told my whole life was, them over there are the racists. Look at the Republicans. Look at the right. MAGA, Project 2025, they're going to get you. You don't have autonomy over your own body. Look at what they're going to do to you. And the people who actually violated my rights that I saw with my own eyes between Wednesday and Saturday were melanated Democrats, some foreign, some of the lineage. And that was, even though it was really, really hurtful, I'm thankful to have had that revelation, because hopefully it can teach something to our other brothers and sisters in justice across the nation, that these people, they were okay with being disenfranchised themselves, so they do not have any issue with disenfranchising you, Black American. So please do not stop. Do not listen to them when they tell you don't advocate for nobody. Please keep this under wraps. We're working for you. Hell no. You advocate for yourself always, because we listened to them on Wednesday. And I don't know, we got a good crowd there on Saturday, but how many more other people would we have reached if we sounded the alarm and didn't take their word for it. They legit said they were fighting for us and they lied. So they ended up fighting, protecting the governor. So again, this wasn't MAGA. This wasn't Republicans. This wasn't the Klan. This was melanated Democrats that did this to us in California, but they were doing the bidding of Newsom and I believe the DNC. I heard Newsom. I didn't hear the DNC. The DNC, I believe it came from above Newsom. Newsom was the messenger that did it to that basically gave the tools, and then the tools were the CLBC, and they're the ones who actually did it. So they allowed themselves to be tools. Well, we know that white supremacy always breaks its tools. We know that. So I think that something's going to happen. I don't necessarily know, but they inadvertently ripped the veil off. And 2024 has been a hell of a year for the veil being lifted, a lot of information coming out. And this was just another veil getting ripped right the hell off. So advocate for yourself, vote for yourself, and remember who it is who is actually doing the harm. So that's pretty much where I will leave it.
Well, thank you very much for your participation this evening. To the audience, to the room, to you guys listening live and recorded, if you're out there, let me know. I don't like to be a person who talks shit about something that is something that I shouldn't be talking shit about. I am that person. I will apologize if I've misspoken, and I've done that. I misspeak all the time, but I'm not fucking Walls. I'm not out here. Yeah, actually, let me just tell you about me. And I'm a mom. Did you know I'm a mom? And did you know I'm a teacher? And did you know I volunteered back in the day? And I scraped my knee that one time, and I had the flu, and I did misspeak. What? Because you don't even remember what I misspoke about at that point, because now you're thinking about all this other shit. America's stuck on stupid because they keep forcing these people in our they're not even in our periphery. They are in our absolute direct vision. And then it's actually what they tell you about staring at the sun. This is what we're dealing with. People have been staring at the sun. And Baby's first cigar, you could just check the playback. I'm about to probably end this. I just want to ask the room one final question. It is in the caption of this video. Has anyone just considered the possibility this bitch is retarded?
Venn diagrams, those three circles, right? And then let's just see where they overlap. You will not be surprised because I have constructed a Venn diagram on this. Remember those three circles, how they overlap? I love Venn diagrams. So I just do. Whenever you're dealing with conflict, pull out a Venn diagram, right? And so, the three circles. The television coverage of just yesterday, that's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but just limited to what we have seen. For us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been,
6 former
burdened by what has been,
Y'all, it's that face for me. She's like, and I just, Kamala, shut the fuck up. Because really, I would love to be unburdened by you, but I can't because niggas keep voting for you. But Iris, this is what they really want to happen. Shout out to the brother Raheem Shabazz on Twitter for sharing this. This is Nigeria. They were protesters. They were given bags of rice. And this is how they... Just imagine. They were protesting before they got the bags of rice, and
oh, okay.
Now they have bags of rice, and oh, are they going home? Are they going home, Iris? Do these look like people who are still protesting as much as they are? That looks like they moving away from somewhere. Like they and outside of the caption, you would just think that people got their shipment today. You know, the whole village does a one-stop shop with FedEx or Amazon, and everybody gets their damn rice on the same day. No, these are protesters, and it was given Marcus Garvey vibes, you know, rice and beans, or deal with the nigga who wants to free you from your minds, you know. And then they was like, rice and beans is sounding pretty good because, you know, inflation, and you know how much rice costs, and shit, they said it was plastic, and you still know how much that shit costs. Like I can't with most of America because of the switch.
You know,
6 former administration officials last week wrote that open letter urging the administration to change course, to change strategy. Is it time?
it is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms.
All right, can't play Taraji because while she is a hometown hero of sorts, shout out to the DMV, she took my math ain't mathin', and then she still ain't get paid. So Taraji, we're gonna have to do something about your negotiating skills, babe, because everybody knows you, Cookie, and all the other characters you done played, and we burdened by the shit that you say out your mouth, because just being live with her here at the BET Awards, after you bitched about not getting the money that you believe that you were owed, sounds like the lesser of two evils shit. I don't go to no restaurant to order my favorite thing for them to tell me that they're out, for me to say, okay, well, what you got? Second best. Fuck you. I'm going home. But maybe it's just because I'm a mom. I've been pregnant. You know, them pregnancy cravings, they just
want what you want.
They show you something different about you, right? Because if it's not specifically what the fuck I want, not only am I going to be sick, I mean, like literally, I'm going to hurl at the fact that you tried to give me chocolate ice cream with marshmallow fluff and chocolate bits when I wanted Rocky Road. I want fucking Rocky Road. And marshmallow fluff? The baby that's working in here said, fuck that. No. And then you Earl. And right, because I know what a woman is. And y'all out here trying to tell us we don't know what women are, so we don't know what we want. We don't know when we want. We don't know how to want. We need your help. Help us. Unburden us by these burdens of critical thinking, because
freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
Yeah, you was out here in these streets, baby. And it's no wonder that you would campaign and cape so hard for the right to kill some babies, right? It just sounds like you need to be unburdened by some shit, right? Right? Or is it?
I was just cracking up because she's like, you know, I got my ear in these streets. Shut. And it's funny, but it's not funny for why they were trying to make it funny. It's like, I'm laughing at you because that is so ridiculous. And it is very much get your booty to the polls, booty shaking, twerking on the top of the Washington Monument. Right. Excuse me. I was like, I had a little glitch. For celebrating MLK, it's very hot sauce in my bag, like stupid shit. I've been in these streets.
Look, actually, let's give it to her. Here you go. giving
Julie
it
Brown,
all
who
the
once
way.
dated Harris,
Shut
says,
up. Hold
Yeah,
up.
girl, I'm out here in these streets.
Oh,
and
I
let
knew
me
it. I like to give her credit.
Yes. You are idiot. Yes. Remember Venn diagram?
Give her the credit. She said it.
Julie Brown, who once dated Harris, says,
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And
Because
yes.
you are idiot.
Yes. Remember Venn diagrams, those 3 circles? Right. And then let's just see where they overlap.
Julie Brown, who once dated Harris, says,
I'm just saying, you know, she said she was out here in these streets. We should just give it to her. She was out there in the streets, and that might be why she likes to kill babies, wants to Kate Ware for the baby killers of the world. And damn, all the niggas you was with. How do you be a proponent for Black children when you don't have any? And actually, you probably killed them, maybe. I don't know, you guys. I know that these conversations are not supposed to take all night, so I won't burden you with the burden of having to close the live. I'm gonna do it for you. But Iris, anytime you see something and you want to say something and you want a channel to do that, you have my audience here. I think they've been nice and kind and polite to what you've had to say. And you guys, you don't have to speak like me to speak up. If you know that something's wrong, you need to speak up, because if you don't, they're gonna say that you asked for it. And because you didn't speak against it, I'm gonna agree with them. And then you're not gonna like me. And that's okay. I'm not here for your likes. I'm here to get paid. Y'all should be here to get paid. And I don't mean from YouTube, unless YouTube owes a reparative justice debt check too. How long has YouTube been around? Is it Google? Google owns YouTube, and how long is Google? All right, we can start to do the math. They might owe a check too, if we're being honest. But, I'm Just Eve, and I have thoughts sometimes that I think we should unpack together, because, we can help each other move the needle where we are if we're comfortable being uncomfortable. Until next time, if you like what you heard, hit the likes. Share this show, because I promise you it gets way more fun when you make people around you as uncomfortable as you got tonight. And if you were not uncomfortable, that's because you might nigga. For real. Long way and the hard way. Y'all are used to me at this point, and we will continue to have these conversations up and through to the next president of the United States. Until next time.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the one to do. If you're not going to speak up,